Methought I heard a voice cry, "Sleep no more! Macbeth does murder sleep. The innocent sleep. Sleep that knits the raveled sleeve of care. The death of each day's life. Sore labor's bath. Chief nourisher in life's feast." As you can tell, I'm tired. But it's Friday! Yay! So I guess being tired is okay. By the way, I'm Alex Axe, also known as Alex Wells, and thanks for watching the vlog today and coming to my channel and stuff. I don't really have a whole lot to say other than, wow, I'm tired. And I'm not even sure why I'm tired, because, like, I've been going to bed at a mostly reasonable time. Maybe it's just, like, my room is too warm, which sounds weird because it's getting, it's getting on towards winter, but I think maybe I need to, like, close the heat vent in my room, even though I know you're not supposed to do that when you have, like, a forced air system. Or if I just leave my door open, maybe the heat won't all collect and I'll be able to sleep better. I don't know. Wow, my hair is doing a thing today. I'm gonna blame that on the hard hat. So anyway, it's Friday. We all made it. Hopefully you, like me, are not gonna have to work this weekend, and hopefully I will not actually have to work this weekend, unlike last weekend when, surprise, I got to work. So here's hoping. I noticed we're already getting into awards season, at least for science fiction and fantasy publishing, which is just like, oh god. And I mean, I'm gonna preface this brief whine with, I am always happy for the people who win awards, and I do my best to nominate and vote and be a responsible reader, but kind of in a way, I have like a two-pronged response of, oh god, to it already being awards season, which, like, oh god as a reader is like, I mean, I've read like a little bit of stuff that came out this year, and it was mostly novellas. Like, I've been reading a lot of novellas thanks to Tor.com kind of like doing the novella revolution. So that's good. But I mean, like, I was looking back through my, because I mean, I finally am using Goodreads, and it's just basically to keep a giant list of what I've been reading. And I don't think I've really read anything novel length that got published this year. So I feel like a bad reader, and I pretty much feel like a bad reader every year. So that's just like one half of that. And then of course the other half is that as a writer, I try to cultivate my armor of bitter hopelessness, because I really don't write the kind of stuff that gets nominated for awards, and that's okay. I'm like, I want to write adventures where people quip at each other and things blow up and a good time is had by all, and there's a bigger, cooler heist always coming or whatever. And that's just, I mean, it just really isn't the kind of thing that ever gets nominated, so I always have to, like, just get out ahead of the disappointment and be like, I will expect nothing, and that way when I get nothing I will not feel disappointed. It's like a psychological kind of trick I do. I remember, and it's actually something that I do even when I'm like submitting stories. Like, I remember I actually got into an argument with my best friend Mike once, where he was trying to be like a super supportive, awesome friend, because he is a super supportive, awesome friend, and being like, hey, you haven't heard back from this person for a really long time, so it probably means they're really thinking about your thing and they might buy it. And I was just like, no, you don't say things like that to me, because I always need to believe that the absolute worst will happen, so that when the worst doesn't happen and I don't get a rejection, I can be pleasantly surprised. And when I do get a rejection, I'll just be like, see, I was gonna get a rejection all along and I knew it. I mean, that's basically my coping strategy for the endless rejection that is being a writer, and I'm not sure if it is the healthiest coping strategy, but it's worked for me so far, so yay. The only other thing I've kind of got on my mind is I hadn't even realized that Justice League was coming out until I saw that Mitchie from Uncanny Magazine was gonna go see it last night, which I was like, oh honey, why would you do that to yourself? It looks like such a hot mess. And I mean, I've never really been excited about the DC movies anyway, because just, I'm really tired of desaturated grimness and Zack Snyder's endless misogyny. But like, you know, there was that brief glimmer of hope with Wonder Woman, and I was like, okay, maybe I will go make myself see Justice League just for Wonder Woman, because I want to turn out for Wonder Woman. Because, I mean, you also have to understand that it goes even beyond like Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, because I grew up with, I want to say Linda Carter. I'm so bad at names, I'm really sorry. But I grew up watching like the 1970s live action Wonder Woman show, along with, you know, like Batman and all that. And she was so important to me. So like, I was kind of going, okay, maybe I should go support Wonder Woman. And then I saw the pictures coming out of the Amazons as they appear in Justice League, where instead of wearing like, you know, the really proper armor that was so wonderful to see in Wonder Woman, they're wearing leather bikinis, because fuck Zack Snyder. And I was just like, no, we're done. I'm out. I can't give my money to this. And so far, everything people have been saying about it has not made me regret this decision in the slightest. So, I mean, if you want to go see Justice League, Godspeed, my friend. I'm gonna probably go see Thor Ragnarok again, because I like happy things, and I love that movie, and Tessa Thompson, and, you know, you could put Tom Hiddleston in a cereal commercial and I'd watch it, so there you go. So that's kind of all that's really on my mind for this weekend. I thought I was going to talk about something else, and it just like flew out of my brain, so I guess it couldn't have been that important. Oh, actually no, I did want to say also, like, speaking of reading, and this is another thing, like, I have read a lot of books this year. Sorry, we're like backtracking to me whining about the awards stuff, kind of. But in addition to me not reading a lot of stuff that would be awards eligible this year anyway, or because it wasn't published in the right year, I'm also just reading a lot of shit that isn't sci-fi and fantasy, which is kind of like a change for me. But, you know, I read I read all of Gillian Flynn's books this year just because my friend recommended them to me, and Gone Girl was like, meh, other than I loved the awesome rant in there about being the cool girl. But like, Dark Places is really, really good. But I've been reading actually a lot of romance, a lot of Courtney Milan's books, which I will push on anyone, and lately I've also been reading a lot of KJ Charles's books. And it's just like, I don't want to imply, like, I am not, obviously I like reading romance and I'm not going to like bag on it, but I like reading it when I am just like, I'm done with life and I desperately need something escapist. Like, romance is my escapist happy place to go, because I'm not going to say it's not challenging, but it's kind of, to me, it's like easy and fun, and I know it's going to be like, at least if it's from these authors that I have come to trust, you know, like Courtney and KJ, I know it's going to be about characters that I like, and that I'm going to want them to be happy, and that they're going to get to be happy, and sometimes that's just really nice. You know, there doesn't have to be like, what a twist or something, you know, sometimes it's just like a really interesting story that focuses on characters. And I really like that kind of character focused approach, which I think of every genre I've read, and I have read more widely than I often claim to, but I feel like romance, like the writers in romance are just the strongest at just, you know, the inner life of characters and building really kind of complex people. And, you know, because if nothing else, that's like the bread and butter, because it's about two people connecting, and there has to be something there for connection, I guess. But anyway, so there's, you know, if you want to try out some romance, I really recommend Courtney's stuff, which she mostly writes like Regency, but she's got like a series, like a modern time series, which is also really good, that she's working on. And then KJ writes like mostly MM romance, which I really like. And I mean, I've read enough other MM romance that and also you have to realize I come from a fanfic background where there's a lot of that too, where sometimes you just read it and you're like, this really just feels like you wanted to basically write hetero romance, but where both people have dicks, and you know, it kind of reads like that. But she, you know, the stuff she writes, it feels like at no point would I ever want to be like, you know, one of these men is just is, you know, only like a facade. Not that I'm saying, like, there are all kinds of men in the world, but I hope you understand what I mean. Like, I really love her stuff, and they're all very interesting and different and complete characters, and it's not just like you're reading kind of the same physical and mental pairing happening over and over again. And she writes, the stuff of hers I've been reading has been like mostly Georgian, though she kind of has like several different time periods, and like all of her stuff that I've ever read is really good. So anyway, if you feel like trying out romance, I definitely recommend both of them. And, you know, hopefully you can find something that'll help you relax and bring you joy, and you'll have a good weekend. And I'm hoping that I'm just gonna sleep this weekend. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you for joining me. I have been Alex Axe, and have a good weekend.